So we're going to start our algebra unit by introducing the handshake problem. So I asked you to get into small groups, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever you chose, and to shake each other's hands or fist bump and to display the data. So does anybody have a method in which they display the data so they can show us, so we can have visual?
So what we did was, first of all, we started by 2 people, and if they fist bump, that's gonna be 1. And then when it goes to a group of 2, it's gonna be 3 fist bumps, and then so on. So third one is gonna be 6, and then it's gonna go 10, 15, and 21.
Okay, so let's look at this. What is this called? What technique did this group use to display their data? We can also say skip counting. Okay, skip counting similar to what you did way back in the olden days. Did anyone display it differently though?
Okay, so basically this is just an input and output table, and then on the side here I would just write like the rule to get from.
So in this case, because we haven't really introduced input output, what does this represent here?
Number of people.
Okay, so these are the students. What about this here? So handshakes. Okay, so in the first one, anything you notice right off the bat? Taha?
This is 2 students, 3
So between 2 students, so they made a little error here, which is not helping our cause, but errors happen, but that's okay. So with 2 students, if we use this group's answers, 2 students, so let me redo the input output, except I'm going to call it students and handshakes. So 2 students, because you can't really have 1 student for this, so we started off with 2. So 2 students, this doesn't work, this is garbage. Close. 2 students, 1 handshake, and then 3 students, according to this data, is 3. 4 students, 6. 5 students, 10. 6 students, 15. Okay, so then we can also look at the differences like these guys did, but now this group was going to do it like this. So the jump from 1 to 3, this one's dead too. Get rid of the ones that don't work. So the jump from here to here, we say is +2. This one's +3. It's going up by 4. It's going up by 5. So is there a pattern here? Aram?
Yes.
What is the pattern?
The pattern is basically every time it's increasing like by 1 more number. So basically how I kind of saw it, I don't really think like it's related, but however many students there are, like so in the first one there's 2 and then there's 1 handshake, but then if you add 2 because there's 2 students, then it goes to 3, but I think that's just by coincidence. But yeah, so it's basically add 2 and then add 3 and then add 4 and add 5. So if we went to 7 students.
Okay, that's my next question. So for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever, I'm going to ask you to predict 8, predict 10. And how did you figure that out? So do that with your group right now.
So what we did, we continued the pattern. So 8 is like right over here. So since we had to, like we did 7 and then we got on to 8. So over here we did +6, and then from here we did +7, and we did the same strategy for the 10.
Okay. So now, how many of us agree with what this group did with this technique? So they didn't have to, did they have to figure out 7? Did I ask for 7? Did I ask for 9? I didn't. But they did it anyways. How many of you did it this way? You still figured out 7, you still figured out 9. Okay? What I want you guys to think about now, and we are going to address this as the unit goes on, so you'll have to tune in to another video, is there an easier way to figure this out? What if I gave you a chart that looked like this? Students, handshakes. What if I started off with that, and then I put that number, and that number, and then I put this number over here, and then I put that number there, and then I did this number here. Perhaps I'll be nice, and if I gave you this number, could it cause confusion? This is an introductory lesson. We're going to explore multiple ways to solve these problems out. This is an input-output model. Okay, so you will see it worded like this in the future, just in case you decide to do some exploring tonight. You'll see this called input, output. You will also see this called X and Y.